This meeting to order. For those of you that just got here, my apologies. I lost my voice, but I'm doing okay up here. So thank you for being here this evening. We're going to go ahead and start with the invocation from Sherry Calloway with Salvation Army, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're willing and able, if you can please stand.
Yes, I am Sherry Calloway from the Salvation Army here in Casa, Grande. And if we could bow our heads in prayer, please. Heavenly Father, I pray that you will guide our council men and women as they meet and discuss matters regarding our city. I pray they shall choose to do that which is moral and rational. I pray that their motivation in everything they want to do is for the good of the public and not their own. I pray that they will be able to solve our city's problems and make good policies that address them. Help them to be competent and excellent in their governance. We pray for our city administration, our mayor, all law enforcement, first responders, and all citizens, Lord, for wisdom and safety and salvation. In Jesus' precious name, amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sherry, and thank you, Matt. Okay, Adriana, if you can please accept for the record that all the council members are here.
So noted.
Okay, first item are the minutes.
Mayor Fitzgibbons, I move to accept for the record the minutes of the regular council meeting of September 15th, 2025, and accept for the record the minutes for the Airport Advisory Board, May 27th, the Airport Advisory Board, June 24th, Airport Advisory Board, July 22nd, Airport Advisory Board, August 26th, and the Transit Advisory Committee for May 14th, and the Historic Preservation Commission meeting of July 28th.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next item are the claims.
Mayor Fitzgibbons, I move that we approve the list of claims for September the 10th through September the 30th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve the claims. All those, or any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the meeting agenda approval. Are there any changes to that, Larry?
Madam Mayor, we do not have any changes this evening.
Okay, anyone from the council?
No. Do we want to
Okay.
move reports?
Pardon me?
We have an executive?
Did I miss reports?
Got executive.
Do we want to move them?
Oh, do we want to, oh, because we have an executive session.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mayor Fitzgibbons, I move to move reports in front of the executive session for this meeting.
Second.
sure. Okay, so there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have a special presentation. I'm going to try to read this. Do you want to read it, Matt?
I'll read it.
Okay, it might be better if Matt reads it.
Okay. So, presentation to the Finance Department of the Certification of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Tonight, we have the honor of recognizing our Finance Director, Brenda Hassler, and the Finance Department staff. We are pleased to share that the City of Casa Grande's annual Comprehensive Financial Report, ACFR, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024, has qualified for the Government Finance Officer Association's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Only the government could come up with that. This certificate is the highest form of recognition in governmental accounting and financial reporting, and receiving it represents a significant accomplishment for a government and its management team. Along with the certificate, the Award of Financial Reporting Achievement is presented to Finance Director Brenda Hassler and her team, who are designated as primarily responsible for earning this honor. I am also proud to note that the City of Casa Grande has received this certificate of achievement for 34 consecutive years, an astonishing record that reflects the ongoing excellence and professionalism of our Finance Department. On behalf of the City Council, we'd like to congratulate Brenda and her staff for their dedication, professionalism, and commitment to excellence in financial reporting.
And Brenda, we
I'll have Brenda come up.
Come on.
everything that you do. It's a huge accomplishment. We're just proud to have you part of our team. So congratulations.
Thank you. There's my makeup here.
Yes, of course.
Mayor, members of the council, I just want to recognize my staff. You guys can come around this way. That are here with me tonight. This is a very small portion of our department, and really without the people here and the people in our department, there is no way we could get this award. It is a huge undertaking. But in addition to the finance department, it takes a lot of support from the city manager and his staff, as well as all the other department directors. If you look at the annual comprehensive financial report, there's a huge statistical section at the back that requires us to include economic data, police statistics, fire statistics, all that kind of stuff. So we have to rely on all the other departments. So I'd just like to say thank you to all the other department directors, and especially to my staff for all that they do in the extra hours. And it's kind of fitting that we are getting this award tonight when next week we're going to have our auditors back out here to do the 25 audits. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Congratulations. And thank you for being here, all of you. Okay. Next item is the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion and one roll call of the council. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or member of the public so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence of the agenda. Is there anyone that would like to pull anything off the consent agenda?
No.
Anyone from staff or the public? Okay, we'll go ahead and move forward to approve.
Mayor Fitzgibbons, I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, if we can get a roll call vote, please, Adriana.
Councilmember Rummel,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Vidal,
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards,
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Herman,
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgibbons.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Okay, public comments. If there's anyone here that would like to address the council, now would be the time to come up. And if you can limit your remarks to 3 minutes and give your name and address, if you would like to speak to the council. Again, if you can give your name and address.
Brad Worthman, 928 North Brown Avenue. I just want to give you guys praise, something you probably don't hear much from public comments, but the passing of the no camping ordinance, as someone who lives directly across the street from one of your parks and is a father of 4 young children, I have seen a dramatic change in the parks, and I just wanted to say thank you. So my kids have been able to go to the parks. Even though that one's closed, we walked through the library story walk, and it was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, Brad. Is there anyone else? Okay, we'll close the public comments. The next are the appointments. And with the first one is for Timothy Gilroy. I don't think Timothy is here. He will be considered for the Historic Preservation Commission, if we can get an approval.
Mayor Fitzgibbons, I move approval of Timothy Gilroy to the Historic Preservation Commission with a term to extend through August 1st, 2027.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Timothy. Next are the Public Safety Advisory Board. As you all know, we used to have the Police Advisory Board, and now we combined it to the Public Safety. So these are all new appointments. Several of the members were on the previous board, but there are a few new ones. So it's the appointment of Adrian Leos, Trey Frederick. Trey, I think Trey's here, right? Trey, if you can stand so we can, this is Trey Frederick. Thank you very much. Dario Nora, I don't think Dario's here. David Gutierrez, Daniela Rodriguez, and Bob Meyer to the Public Safety Board. We get a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you and welcome, Trey. We look forward to having you serve. And the rest of the members. Okay, the resolution, K1, that you, Kevin?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Staff recommends that the mayor and city council award a contract to Allison Mills Contracting LLC to provide construction manager at risk pre-construction services for the Treckle Relief Sewer Project for an amount not to exceed $334,000. This does include a $35,366 city contingency for this project. We went through the request for qualifications project through a solicitation, and we received 5 submittals. An evaluation was done on each of those submittals following the what was outlined in our RFQ, as well as the requirements of Title 34 and the revised state statutes. Allison Mills was selected as the most competent and qualified contractor for this project. The scope will be to include pre-construction services as well as potentially construction services for approximately 2 miles of gravity sewer line within the Treckle roadway. And that'll be from Cottonwood North to Courtson, gravity fed that direction, and then Rodeo Road south to Courtson. Both those gravity lines going into the existing Courtson line, apologize. The pre-construction services will include all the utility investigation, including potholing, closed circuit TVing of the existing sewer lines to establish conditions assessment so we can determine what the total scope of this project will be, and then coming up with that final design for the relief sewer. And this will be a parallel sewer to the existing sewer line that's in both those locations. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, are there any questions? Sure, Matt.
You said Cottonwood to Courtson, but you mean Treckle?
So
Cottonwood to
on
Courtson,
Treckle from Cottonwood to Courtson,
Okay.
and then
Thank you.
on Treckle from
Cottonwood.
Rodeo to Courtson. I apologize.
I'll check.
I was just like,
Rodeo
yeah.
and Courtson.
Thanks.
Okay. I know, thanks for that clarification. Any other questions, comments? Sure.
Just a quick one. What's the budget for the construction?
You know, I do not have the budget in front of me right now, so I can't answer that question. I want to say it was $6 million, but I
okay.
might be way off on that.
Okay. That's all. Thanks.
Question, comments? Okay. If we can get a resolution number, please.
Resolution number 5830, a resolution of the Council of the City of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting the proposal from Allison Mills Construction, LLC, to provide a pre-construction services as a construction manager at risk for the Treckle Road Relief Sewer Project, authorizing expenditure of public funds and authorizing the execution of a contract.
Mayor Fitzgibbons, I move that we approve resolution number 5830 as presented.
Second. Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, if we can get a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Romo?
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan?
Yes.
Councilmember B. Dillon?
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards?
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Herman?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. And Larry, I think, oh, is it, all right, Rob?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item before you is a request to authorize staff to issue a public notice for a public hearing for an upcoming adjustment for the fee schedule. And this relies, or I guess pertains to the approval of the agreement between Arizona Water Company and the city that happened in the last council meeting. And as part of that process, in order to pass the fees that we discussed through from Arizona Water through the city to delinquent customers that initiated those fees, they would have to be added to the fee schedule, which statute requires that a public hearing be held prior to that taking place, and also a 60-day notice be given to the public prior to that public hearing happening. And so, if authorized by council, this would authorize staff to issue that public notice to start that process forward. And that is the recommendation from the city staff at this time. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions? Okay, so we just need a motion to approve this, or? Yes. Okay, so I can get a motion.
Mayor Fitzgibbons, I move to approve the notice of intent on the increase in wastewater rates to the public.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Rob. Okay, let's see. Item L1. James, hi.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. So I'm actually going to be giving a presentation combining items L1 and L2. They are separate items that need to be voted on separately, however, they're related to one another. This is pertaining to a request to amend the zoning for Post Ranch, as well as a request for a subdivision variance. Just to familiarize everyone with Post Ranch's location, it's on the south side of Florence Boulevard, State Route 287, between Overfilled Road and Toltec Buttes, north of Early Road. In 2023, the majority of the 647-acre Post Ranch planned area development was rezoned. 567.71 acres was zoned from PAD to R2, and then a 22-acre area was zoned to R3. The remaining portions of Post Ranch at the corners of Overfield and Toltec Buttes retained their PAD designation. They're owned by a different entity, and those are designated for commercial purposes. The R2 area is what is being requested to be amended this evening. The R2 zoning was rewarded in 2023 because it was more accommodating to the master plan that was provided by the applicant. And it was the master plan that was provided had certain setbacks and development standards that was more supportable as an R2 zone than as a PAD zone. The approval that is allowed in the R2 zone is 45-foot minimum lots in width, minimum lot widths, 5,000 square foot minimum lot sizes, and minimum side yard setbacks that are 5 feet and 5 feet. If this were to have stayed a PAD, it would have been subject to our PAD residential design standards, which requires a minimum lot width of 50 feet, a minimum lot size of 5,500 square feet, and at least 25% of the lots would have to be at least 6,500 square feet in size. It was approved in 2023 with conditions of record. Among them, the minimum dimensions shall be 45 feet by 120 feet, and then there was a certain ratio of lots that had to meet a certain size. Up to 71% of the lots had to meet that minimum, and then the balance of the lots had to be at least 50 by 120 feet. Recently, the Post Ranch developers submitted the preliminary plat, which was conditionally approved by Planning Commission in August, and it included a portion of the R2 zone known as Post Ranch North for 275.5 acres for 938 single-family lots, and included a variety of parks, etc. And we had identified that within Post Ranch North, there were 11 blocks being longer than what the subdivision code requires. So I am going to go back to the zoning amendment in a second, but I'm also going to be talking about the request for a subdivision variance because the code requires the blocks to be not longer than basically 600 feet. And these 11 blocks were longer than that. Planning Commission did make a recommendation that council approve this subdivision variance. But also when reviewing the preliminary plat, we realized, we being the staff, that some of the lots that were reflected in the preliminary plat did not meet the conditions of record associated with the R2 zoning. What we found was that because of the minimum dimensions requirement of 45 feet by 120 feet, that actually meant that the smallest the lots could be is 5,400 square feet. And there were about 24 lots that were identified that fell short of that. The smallest lot being just shy of 5,300 square feet. So it wasn't a major discrepancy, but it was just unforeseen that those conditions were going to cause a conflict with what they had planned to lay out for their neighborhood. Now, this proposed plat does provide a minimum of 29% of lots that are at least 6,000 square feet. The amendment is in front of you this evening, proposing to modify the conditions of record to allow lots smaller than the 5,400 square foot restriction. And so to achieve that, a couple of the conditions of record that are in the current zoning ordinance for Post Ranch would be stricken, and it would be replaced with the following new or revised conditions that would essentially stipulate that no lot within the R2 zone shall be smaller than 5,000 square feet, but it also requires them, again, or reiterates that they can't be narrower than 45, and in no case can they be less than 110 feet in depth. And then it also talks about at least 29% of the lots shall have a minimum lot area of 6,000 square feet and a minimum lot width of 50. It's the same condition, but it just makes it clearer and carries forward some of the other conditions that were associated with the 2023 ordinance. When reviewing amendments to the zoning, the criteria that has to be evaluated pertains to compliance with the general plan. And we found that it does meet the first criteria specifically. One of the goals of the general plan is to encourage developments to include an ample supply of specialized open space, and also to encourage a variety in neighborhood design and development patterns. There was a master plan provided with the zoning document in 2023, and they haven't changed the master plan. It's rather we're adjusting the zoning to comply with the developer's intended layout for Post Ranch. And one of the conditions of record associated with this area that is not being proposed to be amended is for the development of the area to be in substantial compliance with the project's master plan. Another criteria that we look at is that the rezoning or amendment to the zoning in this case conforms to the general plan if it proposes densities and intensities that are within the range of identified uses of the general plan. Well, one of the designations within the neighborhood's land use designation, which this property falls under, is that single-family developments with homes on individual lots shall have a maximum gross density of 4.5 dwelling units per acre. The zoning of this property, and as stipulated in one of the conditions, is that the maximum density of single-family homes is 3.76. So it's well under that 4.5 maximum, despite the fact that the lots are a little bit smaller in some areas. The third criteria is that the zone change is necessary and proper at this time to meet the land use needs of the city. Staff feels, as did Planning Commission, that this development offers single-family home sites in an attractive master plan setting. The zone change is only to amend the minimum lot length and doesn't propose a new use or a denser use than what was already approved by council 2 years ago. And we are still going to end up with a zone district that has a minimum requirement of 20% open space, a maximum density of 3.76 dwelling units per acre. And there's also a requirement to submit for housing product, meeting the requirements for planned area development zones, even though this isn't technically a planned area development, but that will help ensure a variety of exterior designs and floor plans. Now I'm going to segue over to the subdivision variance. I gave you a sneak preview on an earlier slide about there being 11 blocks that exceed the code requirement. Section 16.160 of the code states that block lengths within residential areas shall be no greater than 600 feet or no more than 12 times the minimum lot width, which in this area at 45 feet technically requires blocks to be not longer than 540 feet. The lots that I've highlighted in blue are those blocks that exceed that minimum block width requirement. And they range from 680 feet to just over 1,000 feet long. However, the city code does allow for council to consider a variance to the subdivision code. However, the process of the approval has to occur prior to consideration of a final plat, which has not been presented to council yet. Based on a recommendation by the Planning Commission at the time of preliminary plat consideration. And there's a set of criteria that have to be followed, and the applicant did provide justification to these 6 criteria. And essentially, when you think about, well, why would there be a maximum block length? And a lot of it is for fire purposes. If you have too long of blocks, sometimes there's concern that there's limitations in terms of access to a home. If a home requires emergency response and it's right smack dab in the middle of a long block, there could be concerns about fire response, inadequacy of hydrants, etc. But then there's some other non-tangible purposes, such as if you have a really long straightaway of homes and it's 1,000 feet long, that tends to encourage speeding. Because you just, as a driver, you see a straightaway and all the homes are all perfectly lined up. It's an invitation to hit the pedal. So some of the contingencies that this subdivision is providing for that helps address those concerns are some areas within the long blocks where the street narrows. So that will help slow up traffic. And there's some open space spines running down the middle of the block. So it does break up the appearance of an extra long block. But unfortunately, an open space tract does not constitute a separate block. It's still part of the block. So this variance will basically treat the pre-plat as provided to basically accommodate for those concerns. And this is what I'm talking about, like the open space and the traffic calming. The pre-plat is identifying areas where the curb will protrude into the street, and so it will basically prompt vehicles traveling at a fast speed to slow down. And then there are areas along the blocks. On this example, it's not in the middle, but part of the reason why this block is considered so long is because there's a park at the end of it, but they're getting dinged essentially because they have this park, but their argument is the park isn't actually accommodating more houses, it's just making the block longer. Regarding the notification process, we met which was required by city code. We also included mailings to the city of Eloy and Pinell County because they are jurisdictions that abut Post Ranch. And at the time of Planning Commission, we did receive an inquiry by an adjacent property, but no comments followed. And at its August 7th, 2025 public hearing, Planning Commission did move to forward a recommendation to City Council at a vote of 7-0 to approve the zoning revision to the conditions of record associated with Ordinance 1178-225.2. And then they also, at that same meeting, moved to forward a recommendation to City Council to approve the subdivision variance. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, James. Questions? I know you're going to have one.
Okay, I'll ask one. James, that curb modification, is that going to be included in the plan, or is that just a suggestion if there appears to be a problem?
Mayor, Councilmember Huddleston, it is included in the plan insofar as this excerpt here is from the pre-plat. And so it does identify areas where there will be those protrusions. What the next steps are, should these items be approved this evening, is for the applicant to submit the final plat, which will have to be in substantial compliance with the pre-plat and the subdivision variance. So staff will look for traffic calming devices to ensure that those chicanes, as they're called, are in there. And they would also have to be identified on the public improvement plans as well, that accompany plats.
Okay, and as a follow-up, I understand it for the slowing of traffic, and I don't really have a problem with that. But a lot of these lots, they're, you know, we're in a time where they're getting narrower and narrower. What does that do to the parking availability? Is it posted no parking on those protruding loops?
There would need to be some type of indication that you can't park adjacent to those chicanes, because where it narrows, it basically replaces an area where there would otherwise be curbside parking.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that's done through our roadway standards. It's either done by striping or by signage. Some of it might be intuitive, because I think if you go to park there, you're literally blocking the flow of traffic, but there may need to be some type of signage indicating that.
Well, and the reduction in available parking, if I was a customer, I wouldn't want one of those lots, because I'm probably going to lose another parking space.
Right. And that is a good point, because ordinarily these chicanes are placed where some type of open space tract crosses a street, and so you're not losing a parking space to a home. But in this example, as you can see, those protrusions are sitting right in front of single-family houses. So that area of public right-of-way won't have parking right in front of the home. We suspect, though, that with lots as narrow as 45 feet, it's going to command a type of housing design where on-site parking is more carefully looked at. I don't know how that would be achieved, but that it is going to call for some type of home design that is potentially different than in our other subdivisions.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions? And I appreciate that, Bob, because I know we've had these discussions on several streets here in the city. So I was curious what your thoughts were on that. So have you seen these before?
I have not.
Yeah.
But I do agree with James' assessment that a long, empty street can lead to speeding complaints, and then we have to talk bumps and humps, and you know, I don't know the answer, but I know it's a potential problem.
Right.
You know, in this specific example, that green space could just be moved right to the center of that street and just kind of moved around on the next plat, you know, and instead of having the green space at the end, it could be in the center, right where those deals, whatever you call them is. But I mean, there's ways that they could work around those and with their final.
I have the same concern Bob did, that I see people parking on those, and all of a sudden,
Right.
the fire trucks can't get through, because
Yeah.
we have people parking there. If you look at a lot of these other subdivisions, a lot of people park on the streets already, and it gets pretty narrow.
Right.
You do this, and people park there, so that'd be my concern, is that we address that they have to come up with a way of no parking on those.
Right.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, so I believe these are public hearings, right? So I'll go ahead and open the first public hearing. If there's anyone that would like to come up and speak on the first one for the amending the conditions from R2 zoning for the post-grant subdivision located at the southwest corner of Toltec Buttes and Florence Boulevard. Is there anyone that would like to speak on that? And if you can please give us your name and your address, that'd be great.
Hi, my name is David West. My address is 645 East Missouri in Phoenix, Suite 420. I'm with Atwell. We're the engineer for the developer. So I just wanted to let you guys all know that I'm here, and if you have any questions that your staff isn't able to answer, I can take a shot at it. But they do an excellent job, so I try not to get in the way.
Okay.
So
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Anyone else? Okay, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Should we go ahead and vote on this one then? Okay. So if we can get ordinance number, please, Adriana.
Ordinance number 1178.225.4, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Casa Grande, Arizona, amending zoning ordinance number 1178 and its subsequent amendments by amending the condition of record on the R2 zoning for the Post Ranch subdivision located generally near the southwestern corner of Toltec Buttes and Florence Boulevard, Casa Grande, Arizona.
Mayor Fitzgibbons, I move approval of ordinance number 1178.225.4 as presented.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, if we could get a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Ramo?
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan?
Yes.
Councilmember B. Dillon?
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards?
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Herman?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, item L2, is there any, I don't know if there's further discussion here, but I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. So if there's anyone that would like to speak on the subdivision variance for the block length, you can come up and speak at this point. Okay, since there's no one, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And if we could get a resolution number, please.
Resolution number 5833, a resolution of the Council of the City of Casa Grande, Arizona, approving the request for a subdivision variance from the block length provisions of section 16.16.160 for the Post Ranch subdivision.
Mayor Fitzgibbons, I move for approval of resolution number 5833 as presented.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, if we can get a roll call vote.
Councilmember Ramo?
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan?
Yes.
Councilmember B. Dillon?
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards?
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Herman?
Yes.
Mayor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, well, that's it with the agenda, but we'll go ahead and go through reports and then go into an executive session. So we'll go ahead and start. Becca, would you like to start with the reports? Anything?
I'm just looking forward to Oktoberfest this weekend from 5 to 9 downtown. So it's always fun. I think this is our 4th annual for Rotary. And if you can make it, I highly recommend that you go down there. So,
Yeah.
yep.
How about you, Ted?
Also looking forward to Oktoberfest, but also went to the Silent Witness Night. That was a great turnout. Always enjoy watching the canines, and I was thinking about it. And I think what we need to do is there should be a competition with the council, and loser has to dress up in the suit.
Could you repeat that again? Could you repeat
Not
that?
sure how the police feel about it. No, there's no. Okay, so we got a thumbs up from the police department, so I don't know yet. We'll come up with something. We'll have to come up with something. Loser puts on the suit.
I don't know if I can do
Not
that.
golf, I'll tell you two.
We'll come up with something in the next couple weeks for the next event.
Yeah, that's a pretty aggressive activity there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That'd be scary. Okay, Bob.
I'm gonna claim a free pass because I've been there and done that.
Okay, we'll give you a pass, Bob.
Other than that, no report.
Okay, thank you. Matt?
Thanks, Mayor. I got to attend a couple events in the mayor's stead while she was out of town. The first one was pretty cool. Boy Scout Troop 919 is the longest continuously running Boy Scout troop in the state of Arizona. They celebrated their 50th anniversary last weekend at the Elks Club. So right here in Casa Grande, the longest Boy Scout troop in Arizona, and they made 3 Eagle Scouts that day too that had completed their projects and everything. So it was very neat to attend. It was at the Elks Club. It was one of their partners. And they also recognized Mr. Mike Edwards from the Community Services Department, who does a lot of the projects with the younger, better looking. That's what he told me.
Yeah, it's spelled as young.
Yeah.
He's the baby boy.
But it was really nice to give him a nice award and recognize him for the helping a lot of the Eagle Scout projects and stuff in the parks around town. So I know he's helped a lot with that. And in turn, the Scouts give a lot back to the community with their projects and everything. So it was really neat. They gave a history of the Boy Scouts and of their troop and everything. So it's really neat to have that here in town. So that was a lot of fun.
So were you
Thanks
a
for
Boy
letting me-
Scout?
I didn't make it that. I was a Weeblo, which is before. There was 3 people in my troop. We didn't make it. And then Secretary of State Adrian Fontes came to speak, and it was sponsored by the LFI and the Latino Indigenous Coalition. But Secretary Fontes is a fantastic speaker. We had a good time there. And he is really, really into democracy and voting in the state of Arizona. So if you ever have a chance to see him, he's a lot of fun to listen to. And he really, there's some young people there. He got him pumped up to get involved. So that was great. And they gave him, the LFI gave him a really neat old voting box from Pinal County. He was so excited about
that's
that.
cool.
So it was really neat. And he also talked about Arizona 250, Arizona America 250 Commission for the, I'm not even gonna say, it's like sesquicentennial of the 250th anniversary of the United States. So if you have an event for a group you're in or anything, you can submit it to the Arizona America 250 Commission, and they'll help you cross promote it as long as you promote theirs. And he especially called out our 17 miles of trails that we have at the at CG Mountain as getting on their Hike 250 list. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Good.
And with that, on Saturday, the 25th of October, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. is the Youth Commission's annual Fall Shred Day at First America Credit Union on Pinal, so 9 to 12 on the 25th. And this Saturday, as was mentioned, the Rotary Club's Oktoberfest, and I mentioned it's a free admission event for kids, adults. There's free carnival rides for kids and lots of activities for kids, as well as food that you can buy, lots of food trucks with all German, they all have a German item on them too, so, but there will be tacos too. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be a great event. It's gonna be a beautiful day in downtown Casa Grande.
Can I get a taco hat?
Yeah. I gave you one.
I know. Coming up on this coming Thursday, October the 9th, we'll have an all-day prayer event for our community at the One Humes Garden. There on the south side of that Seeds of Hope Garden there at the Presbyterian Church, 702 East Cottonwood Lane. It's all day, and now you can go online if you would like to come and pray. You can go online and register for that, and it's One Humes Garden Day of Prayer. One Humes Garden Day of Prayer. To sign up for that, I will be there majority of the day as well, and we'll be praying for our community, the citizens of Casa Grande, as well as peace and unity within our community. And once again, I think we have board and commissions coming up, dinner that will be at the property 5 to 9, and that is on the 17th.
Right.
That was coming up. You was gonna announce that one, huh?
No, I'm glad.
Western thing.
And the Western thing, that's right, that's right. And I think that's it. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Pinal 40 had a big, this last weekend here, we had our annual Pinal 40 Golf Classic at Auction Southern Dunes. It was a great success. A lot of people came here, and I just wanted to say a thank you to all our sponsors, participants, volunteers, and all the major partners that participated in the event. Should raise a lot of money for Pinal County and the kids in Pinal County. Also, Pinal 40 also hosted the first ladies flag football tournament. There was a Pinal 40 Bowl. This was last Saturday. Unfortunately, Union did not win. They were in the championship. They were in the championship, and they fought a hell of a fight. I can't remember who Gilbert Perry won the tournament, and they got these really big, nice football rings that look like Super Bowl rings, except, yeah, lady size.
Wow.
That may be your championship.
That's right.
For the state.
Thing coming up. We got Pinal 40 also has Copper Country Music Festival coming up. It's going to be at Ed Hooper Rodeo Grounds, and they're bringing in Aaron Watson, Braxton Keith, Henry Merchant, and Lacey Richey, and they're all going to be there all night. Doors open at 4. You do have to download the DICE app to buy tickets. General admission is about $45. It's Saturday, October 18th. It's going to be a rain or shine event, and all the money is going back to the youth in Pinal County. Anything that's made on it, we are accepting donations. And to quote my friend Andrew Clements, a member of the Pinal 40, he says, "It's not just a concert; it's a cause." So please come out and enjoy yourselves, and be sure to contribute to our community and our youth in Pinal County. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for the updates. I'm going to spare all of you my voice, so I won't say too much, but I just wanted to thank you, Matt, I was gone last week, so thank you for participating in those events. I'm glad you were able to do that, so appreciate it. But I know we do have a strategic planning session with the council members and staff this Thursday and Friday, so look forward to spending time with everyone those 2 days. So we'll go ahead and close the general meeting and go into, not gonna adjourn, but we're gonna go into executive session now. So thank you. Oh, what do I have to do?
So moved.
There we
Second.
go. Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming.